Hello Year 5 and welcome to Maths Today. Let me just share my screen with you for a moment. Okay, I hope that you are in a nice quiet place where you can concentrate. Are you? Fantastic. So if you can get your pencil and paper and start your do now, unpause when you're ready to continue. So let's take a look. Number 1. What does the word cent mean? It means 100. Number 2, there are 100 people watching the Olympics. 50% support England, 25% support the USA, 10% support China. What percentage is left? 15%. What is 50% of 50? What is 50% of 100? It is 50. And which colour has the biggest percentage of the grid? They are all the same. So yesterday we were looking at percentages, and today we are looking at writing percentages as fractions and decimals. So the first thing that we're going to do is recap. I'd like you to pause the video and see if you can write the representation of colour as a percentage and as a fraction. Unpause when you're ready. So let's see how you did. What percentage is red? I'm going to take my pen here, and we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. So 16 out of 100 equal parts, so it would be 16 hundredths. Oh, sorry. It would be 16% and therefore 16 hundredths. Now let's take a look at the blue. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. So that would be 20% or 20 hundredths. And what percentage is yellow? We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So that would be 8%, 8% or 8 hundredths. How did you do? Did you get them all right? Fantastic. Okay, so let's now take a look at these. We have 100 beads here. One bead, this one over here, is one part out of 100 equal parts. So every single bead is one equal part, and there are 100 equal parts. So one bead is 1% of the whole bead string. It's 1%. Therefore, 1 out of 100, or 1/100th. 10 beads, which we have here, is 10 parts out of 100 equal parts. So that would be 10% of the whole bead string. So that would be 10 out of 100, or 10 hundredths. We can also write it as a decimal, and I'm sure you know how to write that. It would be 0.10. Now here we have our ones. These are our tenths. And this is our hundredths. And here it tells us that we have 1/10. If we were to simplify this fraction, we could write it as 1/10 here, because we have 1/10 and 10 tenths in 100. Now it's very easy to convert fractions to percentages as long as the denominator is 100. I don't know if you've noticed that we have 10%, and so we have 10 after the decimal, or 0.1. If we have, for example, 20 beads here, we know that it's 20%, or 20 out of 100, and therefore would be 0.2. Or if we simplify our fraction, how many tenths would we have? Can you tell me? Good, 2 tenths. And again, it's very easy to convert the percentages as long as the denominator is 100. What would 40% as a fraction, what is 40% as a fraction or a decimal? You can use the beads at the top. Pause the video and then unpause when you're ready to continue. So let's take a look. What is 40% as a fraction? So we have 10, 20, 10, 20, 30, 40. Out of how many? 100. Excellent. So what percentage would that be? Good. It would be 40%. Written as a fraction would be, shout it out. Good. 40 hundredths. And then as a decimal, good, 0.4. What about 65 as a fraction or as a decimal? We have 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, and 65 would be here. 65 would be here. So that's 65. How would I write that as a percentage? Tell me. Good, 65. And as a fraction, 65 hundredths. Good, because we're talking about 65 parts out of the 100 equal parts. And how would I write that as a decimal? Excellent, 0.65. Remember, any digit after the decimal we say individually, so it's not 0.65 but 0.65. So your first independent task is to show the fraction and decimal equivalents of the percentages below. I would like you to write this and unpause it when you're ready to go through the answers. Okay, so let's take a look. How did you get on? 15% written as a fraction and decimal is 15 over 100 or 0.15. 12% is 12 hundredths or 0.12. 67 is 67 hundredths or 0.67, and 42% is 42 hundredths or 0.42. How did you get on? Yeah, that was quite easy, wasn't it? Well done. Okay. Now, in order to convert fractions to percentages, the denominator has to be 100 because 100% means parts per 100. Okay, so if we have 12 hundredths, it is equal to 12% and therefore equal to 0.12. But sometimes the fraction denominator isn't 100, and so we need to convert it. And this is what we are going to do. Now, you know how to find equivalent fractions. We've done that in previous lessons. So now we're going to convert the 10th to hundredths. So I'm going to take the 10th. What do I need to do to 10 to get to 100? I'm going to multiply it by 10. Remember, whatever I do to the denominator, I also need to do to the numerator. So I need to multiply my numerator by 10. So therefore, 4 times 10 equals 40. And now I'm familiar with this fraction. 40 over 100 or 40 hundredths equals 40%. Excellent. Or as a decimal equals, shout it out, 0.4. It can also be 0.40, but actually there's nothing in the hundredths, so it means the same thing. I can write 0.40 or 0.4. Let's move on. Now let's convert these together. So what do I need to do first? And again, you're familiar with this for finding equivalent fractions. What do I need to do to 10 to get to 100? I've got to multiply it by 10. And what do I need to do then to my numerator? Good, multiply it by 10. 8 times 10 equals 80. Excellent. I have 80 hundredths, therefore as a percentage that is 80%. Great, and as a decimal, 0.80 or 0.8. Good. Okay, can you tell me what I need to do now to the next fraction? I have 2/5 and I need to convert it to hundreds. What do I need to multiply 5 to get 100? Good, I need to multiply it by 20. And if you find that a little bit tricky, then one thing that you can do is to divide 100. I'm going to just move over here. I'm going to divide 100 by the denominator, which is 5. 1 divided by 5 equals 0, so I'm going to regroup. 10 divided by 5 equals 2. 0 divided by 5 equals 0. Okay, in case you find that a little bit tricky. So 5 times 20 equals 100. Whatever I do to my denominator, I need to do to my numerator. So I'm going to multiply that by 20. 2 times 20 equals 40. So now I know that 40 hundredths equals, shout it out. Good. And as a decimal is 0.40 or 0.4. Right, what about the next one? What do I need to do to 20 to get 100? Yeah, that's nice and easy. It's just the opposite, the one above. I need to multiply it by 5. Whatever I do to my denominator, I do to my numerator. 7 times 5 equals 35. Tell me what the percentage is. Good, 35%, and as a fraction is 0.35. Excellent. Now, sometimes we may have to simplify the denominator to be 100, and we need to convert the fraction into the percentage. So, what do I need to do to 200 to get to 100? I need to divide it by 2. Good. And so therefore, what do I need to do to 60? Yep, I need to divide it by 2. 60 divided by 2 equals 30. And therefore, now I'm familiar with this fraction, 30 hundredths, and that equals 30%, or 0.30, good, or 0.3, well done. Okay, let's do a couple more together. What do I need to do to 500 to get to 100? Good, I need to divide it by 5. So therefore, whatever I do to the denominator, I do to my numerator. 50 divided by 5 equals, good, 10. So I know that 10 hundredths equals 10%, and as a decimal is either 0.10 or 0.1. Good. What about this one? What do I need to do to 300 to get 100? Yes, becoming smaller, so I need to divide it, and I need to divide it by 3. And now whatever I do to my new denominator, I do to my numerator. So 96 divided by 3. I'm going to 96 divided by 3. So 9 divided by 3 equals 3. 6 divided by 3 equals 2. So my answer is 32. Therefore, as a percentage, 32 hundredths equals, good, 32. And as a decimal, the answer is 0. Tell me, shout it out. Great, 32. Excellent. Now I'm going to do the last one, 200. What do I need to do to 200 to make it 100? Tell me. Good. What do I need to do now? Excellent. What must I do? To 80, divide it by 2. Good. 80 divided by 2 equals... Yeah, one easy way, obviously, is taking your 8 and dividing that by 2, and then putting your 0 there. Okay, so 40 hundredths equals what percentage? 40%, and written as a decimal, 0.40 or 0.4. Great. So what I would like you to do is to complete this independent task. Unpause to go to the next set of questions. And here are some more. And unpause to go on to the answers. Here we go. So don't forget to tick or cross your work. Unpause to continue. These are the next set of answers. Unpause to continue to the next set of work. Great. Now let's take a look at some word problems. We don't have steps to success because you have to read the question, but you know how to simplify and you know how to find equivalent fractions. Knowing how to find equivalent fractions is going to be very important to answer these questions. So let's take a look. We have Limerick and Liverpool have 50 red cubes each. Now Limerick have 100 cubes in total and Liverpool have 200 cubes in total. What percentage of red cubes does each class have? So let's take a look. We know that Limerick have 100 cubes in total, so that's going to be our denominator. How many of those cubes are red? Good, 50. Okay, so how would we write that as a percentage? Because we need to find what percentage of red cubes does each class have. Yeah, we know 50 hundreds equals 50%. Next, we know that they both have 50 red cubes. How many cubes does Liverpool have in total? Good, 200. So we're going to write that as our denominator. And how many red cubes do they have? 50. Now, can we just write that as a percentage? Why? Good, because our denominator isn't 100. So what do we need to do now? Tell me. Yeah, we need to find an equivalent fraction to 100. Great. So now I'm going to ask myself, what do I need to do to 200 to get to 100? Excellent. Divide by 2. What do I need to do to 50 to... whatever I do to my denominator, I need to do to my numerator. So what do I need to do to 50? Divide it by 2. Half of 50 is 25. Great. So therefore, what percentage of Liverpool class has is red cubes? 25%. Excellent. Okay. Now let's take a look at this one. 3/10 of a class have blonde hair. The rest have brown hair. What percentage have brown hair? So first of all, I'm going to underline my key information. I know that 3/10 have blonde hair. The question is asking me though, what percentage have brown hair? Right. I remember from yesterday, our whole number is represented as, if I have tenths, can you tell me? 10 tenths. Great. Now I'm not looking for blonde hair, I'm looking for brown hair. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to subtract the number of children who have blonde hair. So I know that that is now, my denominators stay the same. 10 take away 3 equals 7. Right, so I know that 7/10 have brown hair. Okay, now I can continue to convert. I'm going to convert 7/10 and I'm going to find the equivalent fraction to hundredths. That's right, to find my percentage. Great, so what must I do to 10 to get to 100? I need to multiply it by 10, excellent. What must I need to do to 7 to multiply it by 100? Good, I also need to multiply that by 10. So 7 times 10 equals 70. And I know that 7/100 equals 70%. Well done. Okay, now your turn. Please make sure that you read the questions very carefully so that you know what the question is asking you to retrieve. So you have questions 11 and 12. When you finish, unpause. And you have a challenge, which is optional. So you have questions 13, 14, and 15 and 16. When you finish, unpause for the answers. So, how did you do? Let's take a look. Number 11. As a fraction, it's 75 over 100 or 3/4. As a percentage, it's 75, and as a decimal, 0.75. Number 12 is 31% or 0.31. If you did the challenge, the answers are 70/100 or 7/10, 0.7 and 70%. Number 14 was 40%. Number 15 was 72/100, 72%, 0.72. 90/100, 90% or 0.90 or 0.9. Next 60/100 or 60% or 0.60 or 0.6. And then the last question was, the answer is Dora. For number 16, he is not correct. For example, 3/4, if we said was 3%, is incorrect because it's actually 75%. So we can't just take the numerator and write it as a percentage. I hope you enjoyed the lesson, and I look forward to seeing you again on Monday. Have a relaxing weekend. Bye for now.